What is going on, guys? My name is orokaboss. Welcome to today's video. Now this is gonna be a brand new episode, like brand new series of my own Battle Brother guide, and this guide is gonna be really comprehensive. It's gonna cover pretty much all the basic stuff and also some really advanced stuff which I have learned during my 2 playthroughs. And first thing, I want to make some disclaimer. This guide is gonna be my personal flavor of how I would like to play this game. I know Battle Brother is a very complex game and it has a lot of viable ways to handle all the difficulties in the game, but this is my flavor and it has worked wonder for me. So let's start it. So basically, Battle Brother is not easy. Even on really easy difficulty, the game's still very hard if you have no idea what you're doing. So first thing first, we're just gonna introduce some really basic stuff. So every single time you play this game, the game itself is gonna generate a map seed, and the seed, in my opinion, is the most important thing in this game. For example, a seed like this is gonna set you up to an eventual success, because there are some rule of thumbs you need to follow when you're selecting a map seed. And I know for the very beginning players, this is gonna be really doesn't make any sense, but it has to be. But you like, as you play the game, you will realize that map seed is gonna determine a lot of factors. So first thing first, when you look into a map, you're gonna see all the towns or all the cities, and if all the cities are on one side of the map, as you can see here, all of them pretty much on the left side, and all the right side is just pretty much the wilderness, and that's gonna be the number one go-to map. And second factor I'm gonna take in account is that you need to have like sort of sea, like on the edge or maybe connecting towns. So basically what it means is that you can get from this town to this town via the port, and there's a port in the city, and like there's a port network, and the port network is very important, especially the late game. For example, if you want to walk from here to here, it's normally going to take you like a week, maybe 6 days, but with the port you can just get there like literally instant. It's gonna cost you some gold, but in the night game, trust me, time was much more than money. And on this map in particular, is super good, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 cities are connecting via the port, which is super important. And then you want to identify some key stuff. For example, if you look at this town here, this is basically the best town, best city in the map, because what it do is it has the gem mine and also it has salt mine, which means like right from the get-go, I know that this city is gonna provide some most valuable trade goods in the map. Gem is gonna cost average 700. It's gonna yield 700 gold, but you can buy that maybe just for 400 or maybe 500, depends on your relations with the city. So if you identify some cities like this, you know that you're gonna constantly come back to this city and you're gonna purchase those gems, or maybe salt, or maybe amber, maybe other valuable trade stuff. So basically you just sell them to the big city like here, or maybe like here. So 3 factors. If all 3 factors are checked, this map seed is gonna be really good. And the map I'm playing right now is basically what I played in my playthrough, and this map, in my opinion, it's gonna be a tier 1 map, and feel free to just copy and paste this map seed. It's gonna set you up to the eventual victory and success. Alright, that's enough for the map seed. Now we're gonna talk about really early game. Like for example, right now on day 1, and I have some really crap guys. What do I do? So first thing first, you're gonna identify, because I know that these 3 brothers are my companions, like given if you play by a default, like setting up a new company, and you got options to play different kinds of backgrounds, and each background is gonna provide you some really decent starting bros, and starting bros are important. So right from the get-go, if you can't really hire really good, like this guy is like a rat catcher, and this guy is like a servant, and this guy is like a thief. Thief is good, but like thief can sometimes starting with like a maybe triple star in melee defense and start with like 10 melee defense. So thieves can make really good shield brothers, and I'm gonna get to this in later videos. In the first video, we're not gonna get into any details. We're just gonna say that, okay, so we recruit some brothers. For example, we recruit these 3 brothers, and we have some shitty gear, and this is day 1. And I know that I have companion brothers that are really good, so we're gonna keep these guys, and normally we're gonna put them on a high damage weapon, and then we're just basically gonna give all the rest of them, like these are considered chaff brothers. They're just there to help the company and to carry the company through each stage of the game. And I don't really care whether they're gonna survive or not, even though I would like them to survive. But sometimes the game is just gonna, like, the game is really RNG based. Sometimes you can get really unlucky and just get random hits in the row, and the brother's gonna die. So you're gonna get used to that. But there are some tips I can give you to help you to make the early game smoother, I should say. So basically, if this brother is just not really talented, and you can tell right from the get-go that his stats are pretty shit, but this brother is actually very good. Like, he's got 3 stars in melee skills, which is fantastic. But for example, this guy, 2 melee defense, 51 with only 1 star in melee. I know that this guy is not gonna, I'm not gonna keep this guy all the way till the end. So what I do is I basically level him. So first I'm gonna take the closest, because it's gonna give you more hit points, and then I'm gonna take gifted, and after that I'm gonna get pretty much all the defensive stuff, like shield expert, and into rotation, and into maybe like underdog, into battle forged, if he survived that long. Alright, normally this kind of brother doesn't really survive that long, so maybe he ended up with closest, gifted, shield expert, rotation, and all the way onto tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he just died. Or maybe he just recruits some really good brothers and just replacing, and then you just basically dismissing. So these kind of brothers are gonna consist your company frontline from day 1 to, I would say, even day 100. Okay, so the first stages, these brothers are important. And of course, while you have these kind of chaff brothers, you're gonna put them on the side, you're gonna put them in the most dangerous situations. You also need damage dealers, and that's when you're like, if you have like a really good brother, for example my companion 200, this guy, I can tell that he's really talented because he's got Iron Known, he's got 2 stars in melee skills, he's got a lot of fatigue, and he's got a star in melee defense as well. So I know that this guy is gonna be good. So I'm gonna give him the best armor I have, and I'm also gonna give him the best weapon I got, and normally it's gonna be a 2-hand. And also I'm gonna share my my failure. Alright, so while my first playthrough was okay, but I when I realized something, I knew that I could make it much better if I have gone through a different route. And that's early damage dealers are important. So normally, like if I during my first playthrough, for example, I got a really good two-hander, I would give him like maybe all the defensives. Like I'm gonna prioritize rotation, I'm gonna prioritize an underdog, and trying to rush for the level 7 battle forge as soon as possible. That's gonna yield. That's gonna give you success, but that's not gonna do you any good. So after I realized that, I'm gonna go with pure offensive on my damage dealers. So that means I'm not gonna rush for the underdog. I'm not gonna rush for the battle forge. I'm actually gonna rush for the. I'm actually gonna do the backstabber, because backstabber is gonna give you a lot of melee skills, and that's gonna be really good. And I'm gonna talk more about the damage dealer builds in the future. But I'm gonna rush for the backstabber for my damage dealer. I'm also gonna rush for berserk and killing frenzy. And I'm gonna focus on all these offensive perks immediately, so that this guy can dish out as much damage as possible. And of course, he has the best armor, so he's not gonna be always in a bad position. And also my damage dealer normally, which I think can survive until the end game, and can perform at the end game as well. So which means they normally have stars in melee defense, and I'm gonna prioritize level those melee defense as well. So which means this guy is gonna be successful, and it's gonna carry you, like the early damage dealer is gonna carry you through the game most likely, because these guys are just there to hold enemy in position and just die. Alright, so that's a lot of stuff I just talked about on the early game strategy. Alright, and I know that most things I talk, if you are a beginner, is not gonna make any sense, but if you play the game for a while, and you will realize what I'm saying. And then I'm gonna focus on, like, let's say you just jump into the game, and it's day 1. And how am I gonna do from day 1 to day 50? So between day 1 to day 50 is really, really hard. And I'm gonna talk about what kind of contracts you need to take. For example, the contract here, secure a hidden graveyard, is not the best contract you can take. So as I mentioned before, you are very weak. All your brothers are weak. You have a few chaff brothers. You have very vulnerable early damage dealers who's not gonna take a lot of hits before they die. What you do? So basically, you're gonna focus on gearing up your company through brigands, and by that, you're gonna take a lot of contracts like follow the tracks. Follow the tracks. 100% is gonna give you like a early brigand fight. Preferably like from day 1 to day 20, you're gonna get like a thugs fight, and from day 20 to day 50, you're gonna get a lot of raider fights. And the early game brother killer, it's raider. It's the brigand marksman, the raider marksman. The marksman is really deadly, especially with the heavy crossbow. If they can land a shot onto one of your, if they can headshot one of your brothers, the early brothers most likely gonna just die straight away. So that's pure RNG. If you get one shot, don't really get frustrated. It is the game. It's gonna happen eventually. And even your good brothers, if they take a crossbow shot into the head, they're either gonna just die straight away, or they're gonna take really, really bad wounds, and it's gonna be really debilitating, and it's just gonna be really detrimental. All right, so you're gonna take a lot of low star brigand contracts, like follow the tracks, secure, just wipe off a brigand, like a brigand, what should I say? there's like a garrison of brigands, and there will be contracts to take care of them, and you're gonna prioritize taking these kind of 2 contracts. And the other contracts you want to pay attention is the delivery a cargo. All right, deliver cargo contract is not gonna be that relevant mid to late game, but in the early game it's actually very important because it's gonna give you some free gold. Like for example, if I want to get from here to here, and I know that I'm gonna go there eventually, but let's say I just finished a further track contract and killed some brigands, and then there's a cargo mission which asks me to go here. So I'm gonna definitely take that, and I'm gonna hit this town first, see if there's anything I can purchase, for trade, and then if there are some new recruits, and then I'm just gonna head there because I know eventually I'm gonna head there. So if let's say a cargo mission is gonna deliver something to here, but you know that you're gonna go here, go south, then you don't take that cargo mission. All right. So prioritize some brigand missions because it's very important for the reason I'm gonna talk next.